What is up, you guys? Today I am covering Koby, which I think is a really underrated deck that just got a ton of great support that I know people started to look at, but I feel like people have just pushed to the wayside. So today I have a replay against Red Black Sabo, and this is brought to you by duelvoyager.com. It is a fantastic new site to play on, which gives you the ability to save and share replays. So if you're interested, go ahead and check it out. I left it in the description. But anyways, we spend our first few turns just searching for a few cards. I was able to fire off 2 copies of the 1-cost event, which also put some cards in my trash, so I already have 6 cards in my trash, as well as 2 Kujakus on my field. And not only did I attack my opponent's life, they took one of their own life cards with their 4-cost Sabo. But since he gains 4 cost, his leader is actually at 6,000 power already, so that's just something I have to watch out for. I play down my 3-cost Hibari and use its effect to let my leader attack their active characters. And then I use my Kujakus to boost my Hibari, and then I stack a Dawn onto it. And then I stack the other Dawn onto my leader and just attack their life. And they give me a 2k there after realizing that they were actually only at 5,000 power again. So they added their hack back to their hand. And then they throw that hack down, so now their leader is able to be at 6,000 power again, putting 2 Dawn on, so it's actually at 8,000 power, attacking over my Hibari. I choose to counter out because Hibari is really good, being able to let me attack over my opponent's active characters, and I want to get their 8-cost characters off the field as early and as often as I can. Now, somehow, I just keep drawing these ground deaths. It's getting kind of annoying at this point. I want to see some other cards, but I do have this 4-cost Kujaku, so I'm able to discard one of my cards and then draw 2 more. So finally, I found the 6-cost Koby. I was really happy about that. I will just use my Hibari's effect to let my leader attack active characters, just attacking their life to get a card out of their hand, and then I lower their hack by 1,000. But since he's boosted by 1,000 in the first place, it's basically just putting him back to normal. So now 2 Dawn onto my leader, into their hack, is able to just get right over it. And then they use their hack's effect, so I use my leader to put 3 cards back on the bottom of my deck, so I'm able to protect my Hibari from getting KO'd. They throw down their dragon right away, which I was not expecting. It kind of made me a little nervous. Like, I forgot how good this dragon is in this deck. It's able to put Dawn onto your leader, and he is the 8-cost you need to use your leader's effect. So he just attacks my life, and I take it, and then he attacks my Hibari, and I just have to let this one go. I know I'm at 7,000 power, but I just don't have any 2Ks in my hand. I just have 5 bricks, so I'm just hoping I draw something else good off the top. Now, Helmeppo is actually really good because I'm able to convert these ground deaths into something else that's usable. So I just attack with my Kujaku first, and he takes a life card, and then I attack with my leader, making him discard another card. Then I throw down the Helmeppo, and I get my Koby onto the field. Now, Koby is fantastic because while Helmeppo says that you need to return the card to the bottom of your deck at the end of the turn, Koby is able to protect himself just by discarding a card. So I use my last 2 Dawn to throw down a Ripper just so I have a blocker on the field. I felt like this was really important at this point. And then I just keep 1 Dawn active to be able to use one of my ground deaths while using my Koby to discard another one of my ground deaths to keep himself on the field. Now my opponent just attacks with their dragon, so I choose to use my blocker here, and then they throw down a Sabo and stack a Rested Dawn card onto their leader, as well as 4 other Dawn cards, so now they're at 10,000 power, and they attack my Kujaku, which is actually at 8,000 power during my opponent's turn, so I'm able to use my ground death. I didn't have a 2k counter, but luckily this was able to protect it. I was worried he would attack my life, and I think that could have been the better play actually, because I had very little resources, and putting that pressure on my leader now could probably spell some serious problems for me later in the game. Now that I'm at 10 Dawn, I was considering playing my Smoker Tashigi, but I also wanted to get some of these other bricks out of my hand, so I felt like playing the Helmeppo was probably the better option. So after attacking a few times and getting some cards out of their hand, I do throw down that Helmeppo. And at first, I'm thinking of playing the Smoker Tashigi before I realize it's not a sword type character, so I have to send it back to the trash. No big deal. I choose instead to play this 4-cost Koby out, Because I'll be able to just attack with him, it really doesn't matter. But the important part is I'm able to use his effect to KO the Bello Betty and draw a card. And since a character got KO'd, I'm able to use my Koby's effect and draw another card. So unfortunately, I'm still not seeing a whole lot of 2Ks. I found the 4th ground death, but I invest the other Dawn onto my leader, just attacking them and getting them to take a life card before I keep the other 2 Dawn cards for my other 2 ground deaths. My Koby needed to go to the bottom of the deck, so I did that now, and then my opponent throws down another dragon. So I was feeling a little worried at first, but then I realized I don't think he has the Dawn to get 3 attacks through, because basically no matter what, I will be able to counter out of 2 of them, so even if I take 2 life cards, I should be perfectly fine. But when I see him throw down his koala, I realize that he's just going for my board instead, which I guess makes sense because he saw that if I had 2 more ground deaths in my hand, he wouldn't be able to go for game. I could have been bluffing though, so I don't know if this was the best play because I'll still have enough characters on board to go for game the next turn anyway, so I think his best chance would have been to try to call my bluff, even though I wasn't bluffing. So he does lower my Kujaku and then attacks over it with his dragon, and then he attacks with his other dragon, and I counter out of this one. He attacks with his leader, and then I counter out again, no reason not to. So here, even though he has some counters in his hand, and he even had a counter event that he chose not to keep a Dawn active, I am able to just attack 8,000 power a few times, forcing him to block and use all of his cards in his hand before I make him take his last life card and finish the game. That was a really close game, and even though I had a bad hand, I made the most of each of my resources, so I was able to push through and come out on top. So this is what the deck looks like. We got some amazing support in the form of the 8-cost Smoker and Tashigi, as well as the 6-cost Koby. This guy just combos so well with Helmeppo, and he's so sticky while drawing you tons of cards, so you constantly have extra resources in your hand, since it feels like you often have to use them to either protect your life or your characters. So he really helps this aggressive deck keep on pushing through. Smoker and Tashigi is just fantastic though because it's a rush card and your leader becomes 7,000 power during your opponent's turn, so it's just that much harder to get through to your life. And also we have the 4-cost Kujaku, which boosts all of your characters by 2,000 power during your opponent's turn, making it a lose-lose for your opponent. It's going to be extremely hard to attack over your characters, impossible to pop your 6-cost Koby, and if they let the Smoker and Tashigi hit the field, then it's also hard to attack into your leader. I definitely like to go first with this deck, and for my opening hand, I'm usually just looking for Hibari to start wreaking havoc on my opponent's field right away, but also the 1-cost Navy Searcher event is really handy because he gets 3 cards in your trash, so your leader can protect your characters right away. If I see a 4-cost Kujaku or a 6-cost Koby though, I am perfectly fine with that, since these are the cards that put the most pressure on your opponent. So thanks for watching the video. If you're wondering what I play on, this is duelvoyager.com. It's a fantastic new website that has so many more features than the other sim. I love being able to save and share my replays, spectate live matches when I'm bored, and even unlock alt arts like this Koby that you see here. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check it out. I left a link to it in the description below. And if you ever want to play against me or participate in online tournaments, I host one every single week on my Discord. They're completely free to join and a ton of fun to play in, and we'd just love to see you there. But anyways, if you're still here, you're the best, and I'll see you guys next time.